Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shadowsphere.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Shadowsphere. Tonight I am joined by a legend himself. He is the Bloodstained Hurricane. He is Jesse motherfucking Amato. What is going on, my guy?
Nothing, dude. What's going on? I was just rocking out to your intro.
That is
Catchy.
courtesy of. I will send you the link after this. It's buddy's band of mine called Burning Bridges. They got a good set of music going to them. They just performed
Nice.
at Palooza this past weekend.
Oh, cool.
But man, it's an honor to have you, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate you having me. I'm excited.
So, my first introduction to you, other than Ozzy blaring through the venue, is you and Adore tag teaming Matthew Grant and the Door no selling Grant.
Yeah, Dor didn't listen very well. Even after I did it, all I could do is sit there, start giggling. Oh fuck! We have to do it again. Sorry.
Yeah, not once, not twice. I think it was 3 times it took for that door just to.
Finally, I just fucking lawn darted. I'm like, sorry, Matt.
But yeah. I said that the door was Hulk Hogan that day. Just didn't want to know himself.
Right? Fucking thing kicked out at 1, dude.
But I'm gonna start with a cliche question. I think it's a good way.
All right.
How long you been doing this, and what got you started?
I think I'm in my 17th year now. And this whole journey started, like most wrestlers, when I was a very, very young boy. I was like 3 when I started watching wrestling. The cool part is my grandfather was a tape trader you hear about. So I had all these dubbed VHS tapes of just like everything. So that's how it all kind of started. And it just kind of grew from there.
Okay. So the next question I got for you, and I meant to ask you when I seen you at Stinky Days there in June, but where do you get the Bloodstained Hurricane from? Like, that nickname is very original and very catchy.
Yeah, honestly, you don't know where it came from?
Yes, I do.
It's a Disturbed lyric.
Oh, okay.
It's from Stricken. He says it. You come on like a bloodstained hurricane. And then I'm like, that's sick for wrestling.
I never would have put those two together, though.
Right? And that's why it's so perfect. Because it's not like the name of the song. It's not something out of the chorus. He just kind of says it in the verse, right? Of like the radio song. So like, you hear it, but you don't really think about it.
That is dope. And you're also a promoter yourself, right?
I am.
You run New Frontier, if I remember correctly.
I do. We've been doing that since 2002. Sorry, it's not 2002, 2022. With me and the boys, and it's been going great. I mean, when we first started, it was rough until we moved it to Coburg, where I actually live, and then suddenly things just kind of just been growing and growing and growing, and it's been every emotion under the sun, from happy and joyous to nervous to angry to just everything under the sun. And I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I mean, things are going the right direction. Everybody's working their ass off. It doesn't matter if it's the people at the concession table, the boys in the back, even everyone working on the show, the camera guys, all the production. Like, it's just It's really coming together, and everyone's really bringing their A game. And basically, I wanted to create a place that just is a factory for continuous improvement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
You wanted
every
your own version of the Nightmare Factory in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense, where everybody can contribute something, and they're all there for a reason. Either you bring something to the table, and everybody that brings that to the table is willing to share with everybody else why it's at that table and how they got it to be that good. And that is the essence of what we're trying to do and build from like the inside perspective. To the casual fan, we're wrestling redefined. We're not really redefining much of anything other than having that attitude behind the curtain, and that's what's generating what's so different to them to see.
And that's what's important, right? You need a well-oiled machine in the back in order to, have a, like you said, a casual be like, oh, this is fucking amazing. Yeah, and you're going, it's not where I want it to be, but thank you. Like,
Right?
but
Right?
that's a positive. So, on the promoter side of things, when you have something in Hamilton starting up, example Canadian Deathmatch, what does that do for a promoter like you?
It gets me excited. Um, I like it when there's wrestling available, but that comes with an asterisk. I like it when there's wrestling available that's run by people that want to do good and put on a good product and elevate whatever kind of wrestling they're putting on.
Right.
And that's a very important asterisk because a lot of times that's the first thing to start going on people. They don't care. They get locked in their own kind of world. Whereas Canadian Deathmatch has really showed over there, had like what, 7 or 8 shows now? Maybe less. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they're 2 years deep almost, and about 7 or 8 shows, or maybe
Right?
9, but yeah, around
Yeah.
there.
And I mean, and they're still pumping them out and they're still really good. I mean, is there ways to improve? Absolutely. I mean, everyone's got to start somewhere, and you don't learn until you make a bunch of mistakes, right?
Exactly.
But they're booking the right guys like PD Skills and Cash and all of them, me, who are not really there for ourselves. We're there to make sure that deathmatch wrestling has something to carry on after we're gone. Because for
Right.
so long, it's been carried by us. Warhead's in that conversation too. Before us, Bloody Bill and Notorious TID. But we want to make sure that deathmatch doesn't just go away, and we want to try to kind of get rid of the shit stain that it is, I guess, in the minds of like some diehard wrestling fans. You know what I mean? And rightfully
Yeah.
so. There's a lot of trash deathmatch wrestling. I'm not saying deathmatch is trash because there's also a lot of trash indie wrestling. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's not a knock. It's just how it is,
It's
and
literally the nature of the beast, right? Like,
exactly. And the more that we're able to kind of not police it, but offer that guidance to people, the more it's going to kind of blossom, develop in the way that it could instead of the forcing it through, which always stunts growth. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. I mean, we're heading into September 12th show.
Mm-hmm.
You have Sexy Eddie, you have yourself, Jesse Amato, you have PD Skills, you have Mac Tash, literally legends within Canadian circuit alone on that
Yeah.
card. So I'll take you, and you can explain this on your end, but I look at that as a fan and be like, the boys at Canadian Deathmatch must be doing something positive to keep getting the veterans and legends coming to want to wrestle there.
Absolutely. And they're doing something positive to get new faces to the game, too. Like, who would have thought that Matthew Grant would be on a Canadian Deathmatch show? Here we are. Um, because they're putting on something that people are talking about. They're putting on something that's unique in its own way, and they're cutting their own trail. It's great, and it's getting that attention from all walks of life, and that's what Canadian Deathmatch does really well. Is they're starting to get that connection to all walks of life instead of like only for the deathmatch fan. No, it's not. It's still pro wrestling. It's still for everyone. And the problem is, it's not so much like deathmatch is too niche. No, a lot of times the issue is nobody advertises. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I get that 100%. But me personally, coming into the world of deathmatch, if you will, like I've been doing podcasts now for 5 years, and we originally started as a prediction show for like the Fed and AEW,
Hmm.
and I got bored of it, and it really just really started to hammer home. And then Wyndham Rotunda passed, and wrestling really set kind of on a back burner for me because when I lost him, that was my idol, and for that to kind of disappear, I lost my love again.
Yeah.
And then I started talking with the boys at Canadian Deathmatch. I interviewed them in November of 24, and they hadn't even set up a stage yet, let alone a match. And I was excited. I was all in.
Hmm.
And, so I've already come into the wrestling world, which is already a niche. And yes, like you just said, it's not really a niche, but it is a niche. So you got a niche within a niche. And
Hmm.
I'm having fun. I get to talk to so many people from so many walks of life, including yourself. And it's awesome.
Right. And that's what's kind of nice about it is now it's starting to turn into a very productive and positive environment, which normally doesn't happen in the niche environments. Usually they're very cutthroat. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because I
yes, very
mean,
much so.
like it's already such a small world, and now there's only so many spots in that small world. It's a breeding ground, especially if guys don't have the reins on very tight, and it's the boys do. That's something I've been hammering home to the promoters for a while. Is make sure like you run this asylum no matter what. Like that's how this happens, you know. Um, Otherwise, you're just gonna have too much areas of input, and things are just gonna start getting frictiony and clash. And you might not think that it shows. It does show. Um, and they're doing a really great job with it. Like especially for a bunch of guys that's never put on shows before, let alone deathmatch shows. Being 8 or 9 deep is incredible.
And to constantly have an audience too, which I understand from the research I've done on the indies, not just deathmatch, but the indies, getting 9 shows, almost coming up to your 10th. It's almost a milestone because most companies don't make it past 2 because they blow their bank accounts.
Exactly. I mean, I make that joke all the time, and it's not even a joke. Like when we started New Frontier, I figured we're doing 3. You know what I mean? Now we're like 16 deep. And it's like, considering we were only going to do 3, probably, we
Yeah,
did
but
something pretty good.
that's not even bad. You said you started Frontier in 22. It's
Yeah,
26. We're heading into 27. 16 shows. Me and you both know, and I'm not going to mention names. We know of another company who was running almost monthly that are now not around.
bye bye.
But you, but see, that's the difference between yourself, the boys at Canadian Deathmatch. You understand that quality is better than quantity, and you understand the fact that your bank accounts only grow so much at a time.
Exactly. And I mean, I've seen a post from PD Skills about what you're roughly talking about, and he's right. And that's the difference between sorry, and that's what I'm saying. Like some promotions, like they need to have that asterisk beside them. You know what I mean? And that's a great example of one that didn't because they were letting people basically hose them. If you're giving a bunch of people spots that everyone knows that aren't probably for them, not yet, hasn't been earned yet, what do you think is gonna happen? Like Skills was absolutely right. He wasn't working. That was a direct lesson learned, hopefully, to a lot of people.
I, and I commented on that, and I said, "Look, you got a point. I just want to see people get paid. Right? That's
Absolutely.
what it comes down to. Is
Absolutely.
there's already no money in indie. We don't
Yep.
need no money because someone's being an idiot. Like,
Absolutely. Right? But at the same time, as much as like people need to get paid, a bunch of people aren't gonna get paid, let's be real. um but that should be the lesson learned is like if you're finding yourself in these situations that you otherwise really shouldn't be in, you should be raising your flags a little bit here, paying a little
maybe.
bit more attention. Um, because he did. He walked from them. And now look. And that's what I mean. Like that awareness. And that's something that doesn't come over time. A lot of guys think that, oh, just bitter old vets. Maybe sometimes. But most of the time, no. It's because we've seen this dog and pony show. I was a part of the hardcore road trip. That one comes to mind that happened recently in Ontario, where the promoter fucked off and didn't pay anyone. That's when I wrestled Masada. It was covered in blood, and Chavo Guerrero, of all fucking people, came out and stopped the match.
I mean, if you want to tell that story, if you can, I'd be more than interested to hear this.
Oh, absolutely, I will, because it connects. Because every single one of us that were on that show that were an indie guy, we all knew in advance. Well, we didn't know that far in advance. The promoter, I forget, he called himself Mark something or another. He used to run, I think, HWF in London, and this shit happened back then too. A bunch of people got stiffed on money, whatever. And it came to light probably about a week before the first hardcore road trip show. We all talked about it. We're like, it's risky. Well, let's do it. Like it's an ECW super show that this guy's booking. These are all good guys that were like heroes to us. Like, let's just do it. Worst case, we don't get paid. Whatever. We have a good time. We did it. We all got paid. We're like, okay, great. Second show rolls around. Steven DeAngelis was booking it for him at this point. And he asked me, who do you want to work? And I just shot my shot. And I said, Masada. Did I have any business in the ring with Masada at the time? Probably not. But I got it. And I'm glad that I did because I made the most of that opportunity, even though I didn't get paid. So fast forward to the end of the night. There's two shows. There's an afternoon and evening show on the same day in London. And the promoter was like looking very shady all day. And like a bunch of us like, oh God, here we go. Like you just see the nervousness on the guy's face constantly. He's not in charge of anything. Nobody really knows what's going on. Show's kind of going on. And then he had a heart attack. So they took him out as the show was going on because now he's actually under protection from the hospital for 24 hours. And a lot of these guys' flights are scheduled to fucking leave the next 24 hours. Needless to say, I was in the middle of a Taipei death match with Masada, and one of the sponsors at the show, they brought in Chavo Guerrero to be at their table. So like he wasn't even part of the show. And once he got wind of this was going on and watching the brutality that was happening, like he's like trying to wave it off and get her attention. Colin Delaney came out from the back trying to wave it off and get her attention. Somebody else too, Vito and maybe Angel. It might have been Angel from the Baldies. And they all just kind of came out and then said shit through the ropes. I was so out of it because I was bleeding way too fucking much. I was thrown off a balcony in the afternoon show, and I came back out to do the second match, and I did 2 matches with Masada that day to find out that I wasn't getting paid. And yeah, I was angry. But looking back at it, all the red flags are there, and this is where I'm saying, like, BD Skills is right, because I've had that experience already. I've learned that lesson. That's what I could say. There's the guy that I wish I had in my corner a long time ago. That would have been useful.
So I guess in a way, the boys got a rite of passage then.
It did.
It
in a weird way.
It sucks.
But it's going to happen in indie wrestling. I hate to say it. It's going to happen. But you got to have these times to appreciate the good times more. And that's what the wisdom of 17 years has kind of taught me to say to people now. Is like these bad times are going to be critical in a sense. Is A, you're going to learn a lot from them. And B, they're going to really make those good times shine brighter. And you're going to see the clear difference between good and bad and could be okay, probably a shit show. You know what I mean?
And yeah, and you're not the first person to tell me that. And I apply that even to what I do. Because I'm not the biggest guy out there doing the whole stuff, but I have interviews like with you or
Shadow Van
Hart.
Fleet.
I'm, he owes me an episode, man. Me and him had a long conversation in the summer of 24. He said he'd be
Right.
on, and here I am, still haven't got him. So he's a busy man,
Well,
though. But I'm not.
you on him.
I learned to lessons like you, right? I got burnt once by a
Yeah.
company, and I'm not going to mention it on here. They know who they are, and I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
I've been burnt by people saying, "Yeah, I'll do your podcast," and then just completely ignore me, or don't even follow through.
Or they want payment the day before.
Or
Is
they
that what
want
happened yet?
or they want payment that's a ridiculous amount of money for an hour, and I'm like, why?
Right?
And you know who you are for that one.
Like, if it's more than what you pay a tradesman, get the fuck out of here.
I think it's more than I pay a doctor for an hour. So
Probably.
that's insane to me.
Having your full ticket plumbing, you're making like $70 an hour. So I mean, you better be the full ticket fucking plumber to be charging that for your time. And the interview better be happening during the day.
It better be happening. You better have your best suit on, and we better be looking like we're headed into a deposition. Okay, but realistically, I get what you're saying, and I really appreciate that, because there's a lot of young guys coming up. I'm no wrestler by any means. I'm studying the game, and I want to be involved, but I'm also watching where to get involved, when not to get involved.
Yeah,
because that's huge. And I obviously understand that I'm not going to be liked by every one of you fuckers, and that's fine. But I want the respect that I can have a conversation with you, and you can have a conversation with me. That's good enough for me. I understand, just in life, nobody's going to like everything about you.
Nope. It's impossible to please everyone.
But as long as there's a mutual respect, you did something right at the end of the day.
Right? And that's what it is. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everybody's a human being. It's no different than being a sales guy, and you have to do shitty fucking cold calls or whatever. At the end of the day, all it is an interaction of a human talking to another human. That's it. No matter whether it's a yes or no, you like it or you don't, it's an interaction. As long as you could understand, you're gonna have to interact with humans, you may as well be pleasant about it.
Right?
You're never gonna have a problem.
But you know what? I look back at the last 10 years of my life. My daughter, I have two older boys, 13 and 15, but I have a daughter who's just 7. And it wasn't until she was born that really changed the way I look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. Something just clicked, and I stopped being a piece of shit.
I get that. My oldest is 18 and my youngest is 6. So
it took me forever to kind of find that. You can even ask my podcast partner, Scals. When me and him first started interacting, we weren't friends, obviously. I was a piece of shit to him, and it took something really big that changed the course of that. But it's just weird. I look back at life like that, and like I said to you, it's very humble for me to have a conversation with you, or I'm talking with guys that have been around the block for 15 plus years at this point, or even guys like that Kyle, Brian Samuel, who's not been around all that long, but they're baby faces in the game.
Right? They still have that youthful innocence to them.
I also
not jaded.
That guy's
not
got
jaded
But even guys like Matt Grant, he's been only doing this, I think he said 10 years roughly.
Yeah, he's got a cool story. I like Matt Grant.
The knowledge of that man is way beyond 10 years.
Right? That guy, he started doing a weekly wrestling podcast with his brothers, fucking JT and Jake, and then that was taking off, and then he made that critical decision, fuck it, I want to go into wrestling and actually be a wrestler, and then he did it. Here he is, and he's got such a cool story. He started commentating, live commentary on the internet for fucking Alpha One, and here he is now.
And that is a wicked story, right?
Right?
So being the fact that you're almost a 20-year veteran, and you see guys since you brought up Alpha One, All Ego, Ethan Page get their dues. How does that feel for you, knowing that you probably shared that scene with them?
Awesome. I love it. Here's a funny fucking story. One of Ethan Page's first bookings outside of LLWA, where he trained in Hamilton at the time with Ricky Stardust and them, was to me and my crew, and I had a gig booking for Clayton's and Kate at the time, and MCW. I had no business doing it. I was like 16 years old and just an indie fan. But one of the people that were me and Adam Hayes said, we want to have not all ego, motion picture Ethan Page with the tassels. So going from like having that in the back of my head to turning on Raw and there he is, it's just like, fuck yeah, he did it. You know what I mean? Like, I get jacked when people get good spots. A lot of people like, oh my God, fucking bullshit. Sure, maybe it sucks that that's not me. I get it. However, to see somebody work that hard and get it, man, that just makes me feel good. You know?
And that's another
to
thing.
be bitter.
But that's also the thing that I try to relate to a lot of people. I know plenty of people in this content space that I do.
Yeah.
Was I bitter a little bit? Yes. But then I also sucked back my life a little bit and I said, hey, these are my friends. I got to cheer for them.
Right?
You know, some are friends, some are just fucking idiots, but I digress. But there's people I actually know and I'm happy for. And then there's people I know that I'm like, why are you in a spot that I could take?
Right? And that's just it. And even if they're in a spot that you feel you can take, the nice part about this world is fucking take it.
That's just it, right? I go to work
You know
and
what
I
I
do
mean?
this.
If they're not doing their job right, or they're fucking around, they're not making the most of their opportunity, they're dropping the fucking ball. That's the whole point of the saying. Somebody's got to pick up that fucking ball. May as well be you.
I'm also big on make sure you are aware of how you treat people on the way up because you got to see them all come back down.
Exactly. And I mean, and you never know. You never know when you might need something from somebody down the road. If you're a piece of shit to them, they're not going to help you.
Absolutely.
If you happen to be fucking nice to them, and they might remember that, and you're going to have a way easier time in the future. You know, it's all these little things that people forget because they're so fucking wrapped up in their own bullshit of them.
With what you just said there, I tell my kids that all the time. Be nice even to the weirdest kid in school.
Yeah.
Because you never know.
Right? That weirdest kid in school probably has the coolest fucking story out of all of them.
But that's what I'm saying, right? At a young age, my grandmother said you treat the janitor and the CEO the same. Yep. No different. That's how you treat everybody in life until they show you otherwise.
Yep. Grandmother is a wise lady.
She is. She was. She very much was.
Tell people that treat the CEO and the janitor the same.
It's just a respect thing until they show you none.
I like it.
About deathmatch. So how long have you been doing deathmatch now?
Oh, my whole career.
Your whole career? Okay.
I started early. Okay, so when I first started, I started as a cross-dressing transvestite just to get the booking. True story. Calling myself fucking crystal meth.
That's about as good as cocaine.
Right? Like, I'm the original cocaine. My name was Crystal Meth, though. Debuted against Misty Haven, who is a badass chick. I wish she was still around. She was awesome. Got my ass kicked, and then Bill Scully got wind that I did it. And he started laughing. Then he booked me for Stranglehold. And that was Matt Cash's fucking tag partner for a little bit. There's a match of me and him against fucking Scullion and Soul Man Ricky Johnson, and they're wearing fucking Confederate flags and shit. Oh my god, looking back at it now, that is fucking hilarious. But that's how it started.
So are you saying, before you continue, are you saying that you and Cash were the original My Romance Hardcore or whatever?
My Hardcore Romance?
Yeah, that's. I got the words messed up. I got the
You can
words messed up,
fucking
and
say that.
I just want to apologize to Matt and Jesse. I'm sorry for
Don't
screwing that
fucking
up.
apologize to them. Fuck them.
But
You're
yeah,
gonna hear that and shoot me
you and
with
Cash
that.
would be the original, no?
We would be Matt Cash and Crystal Meth.
I love that. I had to say that. But continue,
there's your
please.
fucking preview clip right there.
You know what? I'm gonna mark that now so I remember.
Then after that, it was Warhead that at the time MSN Messenger service. He sends me a message on MSN because he needed guys for a show that he was doing. And I guess his main event bailed, and he asked me, would you do barbed wire and light tubes? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I love death matches. And he's like, all right, you're in. And he gave me the spot because he wanted to give it to a kid. And he didn't think I was going to show up that day. But I showed up, and that show was the very first Death Proof show in Hamilton. And that's where the legend of Jesse Amato was born. The first time I wrestled underneath that moniker, which is my actual name. Because he said, what do you want your name to be? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you think it should be? He's like, I think it should just be you. Just be Jesse fucking Amato. Here I am.
I mean, it's a good name.
Right? It's unique. There's not a lot of Jessies in wrestling. The only one I could think of that was ever big is Jesse Ventura. There's there is another Amato, which is actually Sarah Amato. What's her fucking name? She was a trainer for fucking WWE, Steve Carino's sister.
Oh, I have no idea. That's way beyond my pay grade.
Allison Danger. That's her name. That's her actual shoot name, too, because I looked up Amatos in wrestling and it came up. Oh, shit. But that's like the only connection. So, I mean, it's all there. And then I was telling you the story earlier about the Bloodstained Hurricane and how that turned into my nickname. Because it sounds fucking dope.
Yeah. I mean, I love hearing the origins of how things began because as simple as just your name, and now you're 17 years deep, and arguably, I know that you're arguably considered a legend in Ontario. I'm sure across Canada at this point as well. I don't know how far into the States you've gone.
I've gone a few times. I mean, I definitely have a good stack of American fan base there. Because that's the thing. Good death matches go around to the entire fan base. And I was very fortunate enough to share the ring with a lot of good people that was able to teach me stuff along the way to create good matches. And I've had a great one with Train on. I've had those two awesome ones with Masada. I've wrestled everyone in Canada other than Tid, really, and in some kind of hardcore match at some time. There's still a lot of guys that got to check off the list, especially now. And there's definitely a bunch of guys coming up in Canada that I want to check off the list and get my time. And the Tyler Arrows, Brian Samuels, like I was saying, like Canadian Deathmatch is promoting that at their next show, like that's not just a tagline to make you think, like, let's put a story to this. Like that actually happened. I said, yo, guys, I want to work with him.
Yeah, and that's huge, right? And I'm sure Brian would share the sentiment that it's huge for him having a veteran reach out and say, hey, let's work.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys with your caliber.
I just want to work with them. I see a lot of raw potential in that kid. Obviously, he's rough around the edges. Everybody is at this stage of the game. But not everybody gets to have somebody try to nudge them in the right directions. You know what I mean? And I bring a lot to the table in a sense of like, I understand death matches. I understand pro wrestling, and I understand it from both as a pro wrestler and the promoter and the booker and the dude doing the marketing. So I can put on any hat that it takes and be like, here's the answer from this perspective.
So I was saying, and so what is it like Do you get a bunch of guys like that, Kyle, Samuels, Grant, that come up to you and ask you a bunch of questions?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that they come up in rapid fire, but definitely get the questions asked. And at first, it used to kind of throw me off. Like, it's almost like someone's coming to the adult in the room and they come to you, and you're just like, where the fuck's the adult? Like, oh shit, that's me. You know what I mean? And like, I've definitely had that kind of moment. It was when I came back to wrestling 3 years ago, maybe 4. And that started happening, and I'm just like, huh, what happened here? And they definitely do. Then they ask kind of my thoughts, and I always tell them, like, my answer isn't the Bible. Like, don't get me twisted on any of this stuff. From my perspective, X, Y, Z, and break it down because of Alpha, Beta, Charlie. You know what I mean? And just kind of work to the solution with them rather than bark at them. This is how it has to be, because it never has to be this way. That's the entire point of pro wrestling. At least in my opinion. That's how I kind of take it.
Fair. And speaking on that subject, I know from speaking with that Kyle that he literally attributes you to being the main reason he has a career.
Aw, that's sweet. Why? Because he was training one day? Was it a story from training, or was it?
I never actually got the story. I just got told that it's you that is the reason he has a career. I don't like to pick it. I don't like to pick stories unless I can, and it just seemed like a moment that he didn't want to tell the story yet. So
true, and I'm trying to think. Like, I know that like Kyle's Kyle. I mean, he's an emotional kid. We've all seen it if you have him on social media. But Kyle gives a shit. You know what I mean? And that's what I like about Kyle, and that's why I've always given Kyle my best, no matter what it is. Whether when it was Kyle, when I first met him, I thought he was British. He told everyone, I can't remember what he said, his name was Adrian something, and he spoke with a British accent. But he was working everybody.
That's amazing.
And because
I never actually got that story though, so I'll have to pick that one out of him.
Yeah, you do. Ask him about that. He'll start laughing probably. But honestly, because of that, like, most people think this kid's fucking weird. Obviously, they should think that. That's what made me go, this kid understands what's happening here. You know what I mean?
I mean, he sold you guys on an accent that didn't even exist.
Exactly. Like, you work the worker. Like, it is. How do you get better than that?
That's amazing. No,
I love Kyle. Kyle's great.
Kyle's a great guy, and I enjoy every conversation I've ever had with him, whether it's on one of my episodes or just speaking to him behind the scenes. It's funny because you've heard of the theory 6 degrees of separation, where you know somebody that knows somebody that met this person. Yeah. When it comes to Kyle, I knew about Kyle way before I even knew he was a wrestler, in a sense, if that makes any sense, because my good friend, the band that you heard open up the show, is also a childhood friend of Kyle's. So my buddy,
like Lindsay,
our buddy Phil was telling me all about Kyle back in the day, and I was like, "Oh, who
is Phil? The shirt guy? T-shirt Phil? The guy that takes the shirt off of all the time?"
No.
Oh,
but
his name was Phil. Never mind.
But he would tell me about like Kyle and all this, and then I met Kyle and I interviewed Kyle, and it was actually because of Phil that I got to meet Kyle, and I was like, oh, this is fucking cool, and it was just sort of like a lore to it.
Sweet. Kyle's Kyle, man.
He is. Kyle. He's definitely a special breed.
He just needs to learn to be confident. You know what I mean? He always second guesses himself. It's like, just be confident. Be you. Be that Kyle. That Kyle's a great character. Be that.
I mean, I'd be second guessing myself too if I lived in Lindsay. If I lived in Lindsay, I'd be second guessing myself too, though. So I mean,
Hey man, I live in Coburg. You can't complain too much.
I mean, I live north of both of you in a sense, I think. I don't know. I'd have to actually look at the map. So I guess my next question, I'm curious, and I like to ask you guys this. What is a spot that you look at and go, absolutely fucking not? Because I'm sure everyone's got one.
I don't know, man. Honestly, what scares me the most in death matches anyway, and I've done it. I've done matches where they did it. It's when the light tubes are vertical.
Right.
And they have them on the ropes. Because every gnarly fucking injury with light tubes, I don't know if you know this or not, most of them are because they're elevated.
Right.
Whenever they're elevated, because fucking gravity. You know, you're going to break through them. They make sharp fucking points, and then they come down.
Yeah.
That scares the hell out of me. Nick Gage and his infamous fucking I need a helicopter at Tournament of Death. What did he do? Vertical light tubes, went through them, ripped open underneath here. So things like that, I wouldn't say absolutely not. That's where I go, hold the fucking phone. I'm pumping the fucking brakes here. It's not going through the windshield yet until we talk about how we're going to incorporate this and use it. Because if that part's unsafe, it's an absolute fucking no for me. And that's basically where my lines get drawn is like, at the end of the day, like it's still pro wrestling. Like I'm not going to sit here and say, well, everything I do is real. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of realness to it, sure. But I'm not there to actually kill anybody. I'm not there to actually be killed. Like I got a wife and kids, and so did most of the people that I'm wrestling.
Right.
So my absolute nods come from ways where I don't think that I can absolutely positively do something safely, and everybody's going home tonight.
That's more than fair. I look at spots that I've seen. I can't remember who did it at Crazy 8, but you recently just did it at fucking New Noise in Toronto. The syringe spots, I cannot fucking stand them.
Honestly, I don't like needles either, believe it or not. And Chuck asked me, I never met the guy until I got there. It's like literally an hour before the match, dude. And like, he's like, so you cool with syringes? I'm like, pull them out. I was looking for one fucking thing, that they be actually sealed.
Right. that seems fair.
And that was gonna be my line. And like if they came out and they were just fucking loosey goosey, I would have been like, I'm not doing them. But
I don't blame you.
Sealed them. It's like I've been jucked with a bunch of thumbtacks, and I've been jucked with barbed wire, and I've got gnarly gashes on me from what the fuck can I say no to a needle for? Like, where are you gonna stick it in my head? No, through your cheek. I'm like, fuck.
Fuck. I said yes too soon.
Exactly. That was exactly what happened to my head. Like, okay. So then I started thinking, how bad could this be? Like, I don't know, like a weird thing about me that nobody really could believe once they put it together. I don't have tattoos all over me, and I don't have any piercings. So, like, it's not like this is something I do on every Saturday at the mall.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't recall any tattoos on you
Nope.
that I could noticeably see if you have any at all.
Nope. I mean, it's not for the lack of wanting one. I've always wanted to get one. I just, the times never worked out.
I got
either I was so busy or like, I'm not busy, but I'm half broke. So
I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough where a few of my pieces are done by a friend of mine who was apprenticing, and I either got practice work or really, really good family discount. So
nice.
Yeah, debatable.
So like now I'm just like, you know what? My tattoos are every fucking scar that I have because they just stand out more. So you're not
yeah, but you know what? That's also
cool.
another thing that bugs me is there's guys like, God, I love him, but JB Anderson covered in tattoos and the shit he does, and you're like, all that money you just spent on that beautiful piece of art on the back is now gashed up.
Right? You may as well just take some ink and rub it in there. Like, make a
I
new
get
one.
it though.
It's
I
a
get it.
Picasso.
It's beauty in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Fuck. What is the craziest spot that you've done that you can remember? Whether giving or taking, it doesn't matter. I'm just curious.
The craziest in terms of like, I probably got hurt pretty good.
Well, you can do that, or maybe something you could be arrested for if it was normal.
Bro, I could be arrested for my entire career. Probably getting thrown off the balcony at Hardcore Road Trip that I was talking about earlier with Masada. The reason being isn't so much the balcony fall. There was a table. Didn't really, well, you know what? That's a lie. The table did do its job because that's not really what fucked me up. It was what happened after. But here's the actual story. Like, I wear glasses, as you can see. When I take them off, my vision's not good.
So are you the Canadian necro butcher then?
Kind of, yes, actually. Very, very close. So I know the table's down there. We fight up to the balcony. We're doing a reversal spot. Then I punch him 3 times. And then I know that next one I go at him, he's going to lift me up and over I go. And I can at least plant on like the fucking floor on the way down. The best way I could describe it, and just kind of launch myself that way. Problem is, I forgot what side the table was on, to his left or to his right. And I'm already lined up. So like I can't just walk back there and take a peek. The place is full. There's everybody on the balcony too. So that's probably the biggest holy shit moment, because it was a pretty big fall. At that time, it was the biggest match of my career. I had one goal that night, and that was to get enough eyes on me that I'm going to get booked in the States and be paid there. That was the next step for me at that time. And I went over. Thankfully, I planted pretty good. I basically got, like 1,500 points on Tony Hawk with that hand plant. And then I was able just to kind of fall and hit the table and then hit the ground. And it hurt kind of, but like I was okay. But now he's got to come all the way down and pin me, and then he pins me. I'm thinking this is the end of it. And he's like, "Kick out, kid." I'm like, "Fuck, okay." Like, thank you. So I kicked out, big pop. I learned that right there, the importance of a kick out. And then he gave me the first brain buster onto the floor. That's what hurt the most. And ever since then, I mean, I've had like a weird fucking thing in my back. And it wasn't his fault. It was just the nature of the beast, man. Like, besides
makes perfect sense.
Consummate professional. Not blaming him. I'm just saying the idea of getting a brain buster on the floor, not a great idea. At the time, awesome idea, because it worked, and that was the match that got me seen by Ian Rotten of IWA Mid-South, and I got to be on the 2014 King of the Death matches, and that's where I had my match with Matt Tremont.
Hell yeah. With you saying you don't blame that specific person, are there wrestlers, and I don't want names right now because I don't believe in that. Is there wrestlers that you absolutely got sandbagged by that you just wish would not have done that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've all been sandbagged at certain points, and there's times where I'm sure I've sandbagged somebody else. Was it intentional? No. But yeah, absolutely. Like, I've been in the ring with some people that I'm just kind of like, how the fuck are you even a wrestler? How do you not get this? Like, what are you doing? It's mind blowing. But in terms of like, if anybody was doing it intentionally to try to make it the shits, I don't think so.
That's good.
I don't think I've ever had to come across that. Or if I did, I thought that they were just accidentally the shits, and I think that's probably worse.
As long as they know how to swing a light tube, though.
Right? As long as you're not gonna fucking kill me, and I'm gonna drive home tonight in the car that I drove here, we're gonna be good.
Now you were talking about your spot on the balcony, and you alluded to Tony Hawk. So I'm gonna take a gander and assume you're a gamer.
I am.
What do you like to play, man?
Fuck. Depends on the month, I guess.
That's fair.
Well, I just got back from the cottage, so I mean, Tony Hawk's fresh on my brain. That's my cottage game, man. I like to play Tony Hawk when I'm up there on a rainy day. And to sit there, well, yeah, I mean, it's peaceful for me. I'm sure listening to the soundtrack isn't so peaceful to the rest of the cottage, but I mean,
it's a banger soundtrack,
right? And the remakes are so good.
Tony Hawk is the reason why my playlists are the way they are.
Yeah, me too. That's why they're diverse. Like the Tony Hawk soundtrack was so diverse. That was my introduction into hip hop. That was my introduction into original punk music, or like bands that got me there. You know what I mean? That I started here and went backwards.
Tony Hawk in the early 2000s. Tony Hawk in the early 2000s versions of NHL are the reason my music taste is, because they weren't afraid to put on like random music on those games.
Fucking NHL in 2000s, that one. This is a noise that keeps me awake.
I learned about like the band Default from them, and like so many others.
Sloan, I learned about Sloan from them. I'm trying to think. There's another one. There's definitely another one. Wolf Mother, I learned about them.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last one, but there's another big one too.
I think I learned about Bullet for My Valentine because of NHL too.
Really? You know what? So. I seen them open for Iron Maiden once. Bullet for My Valentine. That's where I first seen them. And at first I thought, like, oh, these guys are gonna be a bunch of fucking emos. Like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, whoa, they're actually pretty good. That became fifth.
Fair enough. Now we're on the music subject. Man, other than it being an iconic fucking song, why the Ozzy song as the intro, man?
That's something like, okay.
And Crazy Train in itself is iconic.
There's two reasons for that. The number one reason in my heart, it's my now 6-year-old favorite song.
Fair.
And I was playing it one day in the car, and then he started singing it. Then I started singing it. And then I like, that would be a cool entrance song. Because like usually like before that it was Iron Maiden, Hell would be the name. Honestly, like if you ever talk to Vander, he'll tell you I'm a music whore. I've changed my song a bunch of times. However, each time I've had a memorable run with it. So like I could probably go back to it, and there's going to be a good chunk of fans like, fuck yeah, retro night. You know what I mean?
I mean, at New Noise, Jesse Mack literally sent out a message on social media saying that was the shortest entrance you've ever done.
I know, I popped so hard for that. So, like, that was your best fucking social media message ever, Jess.
Not that it's the same by any means, but I'm sure you can appreciate the song. When I did backyard wrestling, 20 years ago at this point, I used Remedy by Seether.
Nice.
I fell in love with Seether, and that was just
back
my vibe.
To the Remedy.
I was what you call a goon when I played hockey. So like Crazy Train, Seether, Remedy, Crazy Train, and all these songs that just got your blood going was in my playlists before games.
Yeah, dude. My hockey song before every game was Mother by Danzig.
I was always looking for a fight. I didn't care about scoring. I was looking for a fight.
Right? I play on the third and fourth line for a reason, son. When I'm out there, I know my role. Hit or take the hit. One or the two.
As we're coming up to the hour mark here, I got a couple more questions for you, and then I'll let you go and enjoy your peaceful night of relaxation after the relaxation of the cottage. But who were some opponents that have now moved on in the realm of the world that you wish you could have wrestled?
Like guys that have like left for wrestling for whatever reason, or like
The way
grieving
I
opponents.
said it, and because it could be because they've left wrestling or it's because they've died, and I've left it at like at that because it's kind of like the way I mean it. I could have just said died, but I want you to like because I'm sure there's some opponents that maybe don't wrestle anymore that you would have loved to have wrestled.
From an indie standpoint, Notorious TID. That's one that I've always wanted. I mean, anybody that's been a fan of hardcore wrestling in Ontario the last 30 years, they would understand why I'm saying that name. Um, and I've been around Tid. Tid's always been super cool to me, super nice to me. Really, really, really psychology smart when it comes to using hardcore. Absolutely. Someone who's passed on, I would say. Okay, I have two answers for that. Number one, somebody that would have been within reach, Danny Havoc. I
Okay.
think we would have had a great match. I know Grant's been up here a couple times when he was with us, and we used to hang out and stuff whenever he was in Toronto. And I've always believed that that could have been a really, really good match because, like, we both have the same mindset and we both have two different styles. And I always love a good styles clash in the ring with two psychology guys because they will tell that fucking story and use it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Always sweet. And then the fantasy one would be somebody dead that I've always said, I wish I could have a death match with that guy. It was always Vader.
You're a big dude, and he's a big dude. I could see that.
He's a bigger dude, but like, if you go watch any of my matches, like, I have really good ones when I'm the underdog in the size because, like, I don't know, I'm like deceptively agile in a sense. So, like, anybody with size can fucking throw me and it looks even more impressive because I seem like I'm bigger than I am. Right? And I always just like thought like, and I could take a pretty good shot. And like, that's what Vader was known for. If I could stand there and take a few lumps from him and let him fucking throw me through barbed wire and shit, that would get people going. So those would be the ones that I would say.
Okay. Have you ever, because I don't think you brought it up during this conversation, but is there any desire to fight Necro?
Yes.
Have you come close to have you been on the same cards as him or?
Yes. And I have come close. So close. It almost happened in Toronto, actually. So Death Proof, story time a little bit, at least as much as I could tell, without getting too deep into the weeds on it.
Got to make sure you don't go against your NDA,
So at the time, there was a Death Proof show, and the gimmick was people were going to basically pick the opponent for Necro Butcher. And the running favorite for that match was obviously going to be me. Things happen behind the scenes. I was asked about some of these things happening. I said, fuck you. If you think this is me, I'm going to walk on the biggest fucking thing that I could have ever had in this company right fucking now. Hindsight, it was the right move. At the time, it fucking stung, dude, because I wanted that match so bad. But then what was questioned about happened again, and that was a moment when they said, "Shit." But it did almost happen, and Necro was one of the guys on that hardcore road trip show. He was paid by a laptop that day, actually. The promoter's laptop was running commentary, and he just, this is mine.
Maybe that's another thing that some young guys can take. Hey, you see something that costs a little bit of money, they don't pay you. Oops.
Right? I mean, It's gonna happen. Someone's gonna take it.
Fuck
but the
it.
problem is like nowadays, like there's that little bit of an excuse you have, I'll get you when the Eventbrite comes, because you get a good chunk of your ticket money after the show. It's not really at the door anymore. So like you try to give that benefit of the doubt. How does that go to where it's supposed to go, or is that gonna go to being that guy's paycheck that he just lost all of it on his actual paychecks putting on the show?
Listen, I'm a petty motherfucker, and I'll say, okay, yeah, next show, book me in your biggest name possible, and then just no show at the last minute.
Right? No, what you got to do is you got to do that, but you got to say, I want my money in advance, and then no show. So then it's the same thing.
And if you do show, take every bit of chairs that they rented for their insurance.
Right?
Yeah, shit.
Insurance. They probably fucking made a fake piece of paper to say they have insurance. Let's be real.
More than likely.
Man, insurance isn't cheap.
I know that. I know that. Before I let you go, man, other than September 12th, which obviously off the top is sponsoring the casket match between Hardcore and Vander Cruz.
Fuck Vander Cruz.
What do you got coming up, man?
Well, I have that. And then the next one after that, that's a big one, is October 9th for New Frontier in Coburg. We have the 19-0-0 undefeated grand champion Tarek against the man beast himself, Rhino, in the main event. We're doing our first battle royal. I mean, a lot of times in indie wrestling, everyone sees a battle royal and they roll their eyes. We haven't done it for that reason in this entire time, and now that we are going to do it, we're going to fucking do it. So it's actually going to be a lot of faces, whether they're from the present roster, past roster, future guys that are coming to our roster. We have Mo Jabari coming in from Calgary for it. He's going to be in the Rumble too. I mean, he's also wrestling Gabriel Fuerza, which is going to be a banger. We got Miles DeVille from Vancouver. If you haven't seen him, definitely check him out. Dude's an aerial assassin. I thought it was crazy that we were the first people to book him in Ontario from BC. And honestly, he's got like 5 other bookings since then. So, I mean, I did my job.
You set the tone.
I did. We have him against, who is DeVille against? Johnny DeLuca.
Okay.
And a bunch of other shit. But that's going to be the big one, Tarek and Rhino. We had Rhino back in March, and we had like 500 people there, and it's fucking sick. Rhino against Skills was at that show. It was fucking dope. And then, then we're bringing him back in October. So,
if other than make sure you get paid and make sure you pay attention for the red flags, if you could deliver any message to the up and coming guys, whether they're already on the scene or they're literally just trying to break in, what is a message that a legend like yourself would like to tell them?
If you find that you no longer get butterflies before you go out there, now is the time to have a serious conversation that your time might be up. That is when you know, because that's something that I've always been asked, like, how do you know? Or when guys are going through their period, I call it the period of desperation. You're always in the valley of despair, and it happens young in your career because like you want these opportunities, you're not really getting them, or you're getting thrown something and it's always kind of shitty. You want something up here, but you're only getting down here, and you're in that valley of despair. My number one question is, do you still have butterflies? And if they say yes, I say then stay the course. You're just not there yet. It's a long fucking journey. And if they say no, I go, well, there's something that's definitely wrong because, like, you should still feel it in here.
I get that wholeheartedly.
Right? So that's the number one thing. And the other one would be, as long as you're doing the absolute fucking best, and that means showing up your best that you possibly. I'm not saying you have to be the best. I'm saying showing up the absolute best you can. I mean, if you're a bag of shit, but you have this going, as long as that bag of shit is your best, you're not going to do wrong.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
No, 100%. And I
As
get
long
that.
as you do that, it's going to be okay. You're going to get to where you want to go as long as you're willing to do the work necessary to get that far. You know, you said it earlier, which is like, why do I think seeing Ethan Page out there in WWE fucking great? The work that guy's put in to get to that spot, he deserves it. You know what I mean? And that's a success story. You know, like, I'm not gonna laugh anybody out of the fucking building and say, I want to get to WWE. Fucking awesome. There's the standard. This is the work.
Yeah.
You do the work, you will get there.
100%.
But this is the work.
And that in that same breath, and I'm not a wrestler and I don't plan to be a wrestler. Do I want to be in the industry? 100%. But even if I do podcasting, my standard is Chris Van Vliet.
Yep.
Here's the work I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I get that wholeheartedly. The butterflies thing, I get nervous before every time I go on to interview anybody.
It's good. It's a good thing.
There was a time when I
It's
didn't, and I
reality
said,
check.
"Yep," I walked away.
Right? There's some truth behind that. It's like when you don't get nervous about something, now you're just going through the motions. And when you're doing that, you go through that bullshit where you got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and that's not fair to anybody, including yourself. Like, you deserve to have purpose too. Unless you have intent of having 1 foot in, 1 foot out, different story. There's reasons to do it at different times. But if that's all you're fucking relying on, and that's what you're coasting on, you're going to be fucking doing the splits before you know it. And it's not going to be good. Because now you're not on any of those fucking boats, and your groins are fucking torn.
Yeah. And that's why I put out a message on social media the other day. The end of September, I'm wrapping up the season. I got some other things I got to focus on. And it wouldn't be fair to anybody I asked to be on the show that my attention isn't there.
Yeah, exactly. You got to do what you got to do.
I'm catching the burnout before the burnout happens.
Yep.
I learned that lesson hard at the end. I learned that lesson very hard at the end of 24, beginning of 25.
Yep. I feel you. And everyone goes through it, and everyone's gonna have those storms, and it's gonna change you, and that's the entire point of what's supposed to happen in those moments. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be what you do or fail to do inside that storm. That's gonna determine whether or not you're gonna be better or worse on the other side of it.
Exactly. Well, Jesse, I appreciate the words of wisdom, the stories, and I will love to sit down again in the near future and have a conversation, and we'll get some more crazy stories out of you. Maybe pop a few of the other boys on, and y'all could trade war stories, and I could just be a fly on the wall. But
all right, man, I'll do it. Let's do it.
But
this is a great conversation. This is one of the better ones. I like this one.
I don't like to do things in the normal way, and I'll explain after. But ladies and gentlemen, September 12th, come out to Sneaky D's. Come check out Canadian Deathmatch. Come watch Mr. Brian Samuels, the Dapper One, and the Bloodstained Hurricane take on, I believe it is Matthew Grant and Jesse Mack.
It is Matthew Grant and Jesse Mack.
Industry. That match promises to be something wild.
Yeah, fuck Jesse Mack. She should probably eat her makeup so at least she'd be pretty on the inside.
Off the Top Media is sponsoring the casket match between Hardcore and Vander Cruz. Make sure you use code OTT and get yourself some percentage off there. And if not, just come out to the show, support the guys and the girls. Make sure you're buying their merch. Make sure you're supporting your local indie scene. And if you happen to be in the area, I believe you said October 12th or 9th. 9th. Make sure you check out New Frontier and go bug Jesse so much that he has to book you on
Frontier. That logo. Look for that logo.
I love that logo. It really is awesome.
The backwards end at first, we had it as a normal end first. Then I looked at Josh, Josh, make the end backwards. He's like, are you sure? I think it's just fucked because it looks fucked with a regular end. I'm like, no, just try it. They did. He's like, huh. It actually kind of works better. Like, right?
He gives me a very skateboarding or late 2000s vibe, and I love it.
Right? Tony
Like
Hawk,
the
baby. That shit
Fallen
would be on a
and
board.
like the Fallen logo and others. I can't remember what the end would be, but that
Yeah.
being said,
Something
ladies
like
and
a
gentlemen,
zero board. I could see that. Like a zero with a backwards R or something.
yeah. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Shadowsphere. That is the legend himself, the Bloodstained Hurricane, Jesse Amato. I am Shadow. You have yourselves a great night.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome to the Shadow.